Search is over, now welcome to First Mint. Looking for NFT content? Look no further, cause this is it. From Top Shot to blockchain, they got the data chops, analysis, and pack drops. The show's equator hot. LG and Phil D, the best amongst others. Best brothers that happen to ball since the Ball brothers. So settle in, cause it's time for the best show. Ayo Quad, who we reppin'? First Mint. Let's go.
Whoa!
Hey, wow.
We are back, baby. We are back. The dynamic duo is back on the air. Here we go. I'm excited. I feel like it's been forever. What is going on here?
Phil, where the hell have you been, man? People like,
where the hell have you been?
DMing me, being like, did you kick Phil off the show? Did he quit? What's wrong?
No.
Is there, like, I saw headlines about us that were right. Like, I saw headlines about us in the Apple app that was like, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift seen holding hands for the second time. And the one right under that is, where is Phil D? He may not be on the show anymore.
Wow. Well, I think that's because you did such a great job the week I wasn't there. People actually enjoyed it for once, hearing your stuff and not hearing us just ramble on about, you know, stories of like almost dying in Florida and then camping trips and shit like that.
But you've been on more adventures since, though. You had so many. Your adventures were so prolific that you couldn't even make it to the show.
There's actually a lot more adventures coming up, and actually, you know, I wanted to mention it in the pre-show because I can't make this public just yet. But there's a lot of adventures coming up. I'd say even in the next 7 days. The week that I missed, I believe. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. LG, it's a busy time of the year. Like I said to you, it's a busy time of the year. When sports start up like this, I mean, on TV with the kids, all that. Not that I have small kids. But it's a busy time of the year, and I wasn't able to make a couple of shows. The other week, I was in North Carolina to watch some hockey. That was an experience and a half. I actually drove there, which took a good, man, we stopped like 8 or 9 times. I think it took like 16, 17 hours to get there with all the stopping. But I had never driven through the Virginias or the Carolinas before, and it was nice, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was
in the fall.
The scenery was unbelievable. I have an obsession with stopping on U.S. university campuses and see like the big name ones and seeing what they're all about. And I discovered West Virginia out of nowhere. I saw like Morgantown. I'm like, wait a second, I know that. I know that from football. So I dropped off the highway and went down to the campus. It was really cool. Really cool to see. Ended up stopping at Duke, North Carolina, Wake Forest, places like that all along the way.
Did you collect anything when you were doing that?
I thought about it, but like what? Like collect a blade of grass? Like I didn't know what the hell to collect. It's not like a souvenir shop sitting there like with pins or something. And who the hell collects pins anyways?
Phil, hold on. But do you remember what you used to collect when we were teenagers? When we'd go traveling? Like the one time we went to Europe as a family?
Yeah, what was it? Wasn't it pins?
No. We used to have pins. That's everybody used to collect pins.
Pins was a reward for scoring goals in hockey.
Yeah, we got pins when we did that, but then we also I'm talking. It was a T-shirt from a certain retail location from a certain restaurant. You remember that?
Yes, it was the Hard Rock Cafe.
No, was it? It's Planet Hollywood.
Oh, Planet Hollywood. No, that's what I meant. Sorry, not Hard Rock.
If you guys remember, like at some point in the 90s, they came out with Planet Hollywood, which was just like this chain of restaurants that was just like celebrities everywhere. It was like the Walk of Fame, but as a restaurant basically. And they put one in like every city, like super franchised. And Phil was like, I don't even think we ate there. I think we would just
never ate there.
Some new place. Ever. No, what?
We never ate there.
No, we never ate there. But Phil would, because it was expensive as shit, man. But Phil would insist that whatever town we were in, we would go to the Planet Hollywood so Phil could buy a shirt from the Planet Hollywood that said like Planet Hollywood,
Rome,
London,
Paris, London.
We were lucky kids. We were lucky kids to go there.
Why did I do that? I never even wore those things after.
Where are those? What happened to those? They're somewhere with my comic books.
Yeah, they're with your comic books and a bunch of other stuff. Like I honestly don't know where everything is. I'm at the stage now where my kids are old enough, LG, that I'm about to find out what it's like to dump all their shit after they're gone. And then I'll really have more insight on what goes on there. So, but yeah, no, it was, I don't know. I did think of collecting something that I noticed when you drive on the freeways. And I say freeways because you Americans, if I say highway, I already said it once, you'll probably kill me.
You Americans, you people.
Yeah, you guys love saying freeway. We say highway. I did notice that they love collecting those stickers that you put on your car, like everywhere you've been. So while I was driving on the freeway, I was behind cars that have been like, Grand Canyon and Yosemite and,
and does it say like this car?
Yeah, things like that.
Canyon?
Yeah, they love that shit down there.
Yeah,
so, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like
the only stickers we have in Canada these days are "fuck Trudeau" stickers. That's the one I see. I don't know if you see that in Toronto, but out here, like I'm in the country, like every second truck you see has the Canadian flag, but like it's white, and you know that it's like that they are like part of that movement, the trucker movement, and then it's got like a "fuck Trudeau, he's a loser." It's got some like comical sticker about him. And then it also has those stickers of the family. You know what I mean? People that get the stickers of like the dad, the mom, like the little stick figures. Like it also has
people have fake things. Like the baby. I never understood the baby on board. It's like, okay, you have a baby on board, so I'm not gonna crash into you. But if you didn't have the sign on the back, I'd fucking slam into the back of you, no problem. I never understood that. What are you supposed to do? Be more
careful with your car. Yeah. Or I guess you stop people from road raging at you that way. You're like, listen, I'm stressed. I don't
think people care, man. Like you hear like freaking babies being shot sometimes.
What about would you get a sticker of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes pissing on the Montreal Canadiens logo?
That's no, because everyone who has that either has a pickup truck, and when they do have that sticker, they also have a sticker of Newfoundland, the province, right beside it. Always. It's the same. Listen, I'll tell you something. Back to those "fuck Trudeau" stickers. And they're all over the car. Listen, I'm with that movement, with that saying. I do not like Justin Trudeau. Many Canadians don't. But I will say that is a special type of person that puts those stickers up.
It's one thing to not like your prime minister. It's another thing to put your political.
I'll openly say it, but I will not put stickers up. And they're the guys who fly the flags at their house too. And they have it all over their front yard. And they say it. And I actually got in a huge road rage once about a year ago with a car that had those stickers all over it. And when the guy pulled down his window and he was with his son, tried to run me off the road. So I pulled up beside him and I said to him, dude, fuck Trudeau. Yes, you're right. But why are you such a fucking asshole, man? What's your problem? Seriously, what's your deal? I agree with your movement, but why are you such a prick, And guys like, they're just, to me, the same type of people. There's something about them where if you're that angry, because listen, I don't think many people like Trudeau anymore in Canada. It's almost nobody now with all the stuff that's been going on.
But some people love him still.
I'd rather put like lock her up than put that on my car, for Hillary instead. But no, I just think it's weird, right? Like the people who have that, especially it's never one sticker. It's like the whole car. It's like, okay, you're really obsessed. I don't like him either, man. But no, not that crazy. So I didn't see any of those in the States. And like I said, I didn't know what to collect.
You didn't see any Trudeau stickers in the States?
No. I mean,
I would love for someone in North Carolina to be driving around with a "fuck Trudeau" sticker.
They got bigger problems, okay? They got other things.
They got other people they're mad at.
There's way bigger politics in the U.S. than here.
Okay, well, Phil, speaking of U.S., we do have a special guest here today.
Wow.
They are not technically a podcast guest. This is actually somebody who has redeemed the first ever private podcast viewing NFT from First Media Pass Season 1, which allows you to basically hang out with us backstage before the show, which we're chilling for like 25 minutes with this guest or with this viewer, let's call them. And, we ended up telling them that they're going to make a cameo on the show right off the bat. So, and they are America-based. So I guess welcome for their unexpected debut. We didn't expect to have a guest today. So just going to be on for a bit. Please welcome, I guess, longtime First Mint listener and private viewer of today's episode, Brad. There he is.
Whoa. What's up, guys?
Wow.
Whoa.
Hold
on. I gotta look at Brad's outfit here. Let's just take a look. He's got like this hoodie that is like a full America flag where the shoulders and the hood are the stars, chest are the stripes, and he was wearing these cool sunglasses coming out. This is like a full wrestler entrance right here. There we go.
It's a Rico Suave type entrance. He removed the hood for those who are not watching. He slicked the hair back.
Thank you. And this is my my Halo training headphones that I wear. They actually train your motor cortex there, so you're getting a little insight into some some hacking that I like to do here. Some
brain hacker.
But here's the only issue I have, Brad. I know your name is not Brad. Like I don't go by Phil around these circles. Okay, I go by the real Phil D. Why don't you tell our listeners what you actually go by in terms of username?
Time to live, baby.
Oh,
Time
hold
to
on.
live.
No, that's what you are in Discord. But recently you signed up for First Mint Trivia.
Oh,
what
Big
was your
John
name
Stud.
for trivia?
Big John Stud.
Big
John
Stud. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You do look like a Big John Stud. I'm not gonna.
I am, man. I'm a Big John. I got a Big John. That's right.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
No.
Our parents
not after hours. Now we always have to remind our guests.
Well, I gotta hold on before. I gotta tell you, when the Planet Hollywood opened up in Manhattan, I made my father take me to the grand opening. So I'm with you there, bro. That was a great time. You know, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Bruce Willis, right? Like those guys, different times. So it felt serendipitous that you opened up with that. I had to mention that, even though I'm behind the scenes.
Brad, the real question is, does your car have any bumper stickers? And are
Never.
them angry?
My son is an honor student. I always made fun of people who put that on. I agree with you. Going to Mount Everest, who cares if the car went? It's one of those things.
Wait, hold on. If a car went up Mount Everest, I would definitely want to see that car on the road. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I kind of put whatever that mountain is in.
I think like Mount Washington or like any other notable mountain, or at least out east where you guys are. Like, there's tons of mountains in the Appalachians that people always want to throw that sticker on. But
I have to ask Brad. I love asking people this. What's the number one thing on your bucket list, like in life? All right, you got one more thing you can do, and then you may not do any more things after. No, because you got to put the pressure of like come up with your best answer. Don't just say things you might do.
Oh wow, Brad didn't expect to be quizzed about his.
Well, listen, he brought up Mount Everest, and I've thought of Mount Everest for a long time, but then I keep watching these documentaries, and it's like everybody dies. I'm like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then you read the reason on Wikipedia, and it's like complications. Like, what? Hold on. You tell me you didn't die from like a broken or falling or something? I could live with that. But if you're just dying for no reason,
just froze to death because they couldn't breathe.
No, we're not doing that. So what's number one on your bucket list, Brad?
You know, it's a tough one, man. But I think recently, I'll just go with the first thing. Go to Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany. Somebody I met, last week had just came back, and I like about 10 years ago, that was something I wanted to do, kind of put it on the shelf. But after hearing about it with them, that's something I think at some point in time is a good thing to check out. It sounds pretty wild.
I have like major like, okay, we just had October. I work for a German company, and we just had Oktoberfest a few days ago, last week. And I made the mistake of asking our crazy mailroom guy if he was excited for the free Oktoberfest lunch the next day. And in front of everybody in the cafeteria, because this guy's a psychopath, he yells out, "Nope, I fucking hate white sausages." Exact words. And I'm just like, what? I can't make this up, man. Like, the guy just screams it out to the whole world. The entire caf stops talking. Everyone looks. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just asked this guy that. I should have known. This guy would, if this guy was, Brad, if I submitted a video of this guy to MTV a long time ago, his show would be destroying Honey Boo Boo or any of those reality shows on TV. This is how wild this dude is. This dude has lived the wildest life you could ever come up with that hasn't been on TV. So I should have known when I asked that question. But I don't even know what he's talking about. There were no white sausages. This sounds pretty disgusting.
I think the community would like to see this guy on the First Mint.
I was going to say,
I think so. You don't want him on here. I'm telling you right now, he will get signed in a heartbeat.
Well, we need him on here. We need him on here. Yeah.
I mean, he opens an Instagram account every single time he can't remember his password, which is like every day. I'm not joking. There's like 20 out there. And one time he was on live, shirtless. This is our mailroom guy, and he was shaving his head live, and there was hairs flying.
Oh, we need him. He's got to come on. We need this guy 100%, man.
You have no. He. One more little thing, Brad. I have to tell this story. I'll let him tell the story when he comes on the show. He lives in Australia. He's Canadian from Flin Flon, Manitoba. That's a little town in Manitoba. He actually is like legitimately from Flin Flon. And he moved to Australia with his parents at a young age. And he brought us his report card from his grade 9 year in Australia. And it said, and I'm not going to say his name yet unless we bring him on, because I don't know if he wants his name mentioned. But it said so-and-so. It didn't have any notes. It just had huge letters, capital letters written in the comment section. so-and-so is a very, very bad boy. That's exactly what I said. So just to give you a bit of context, this is grade 9. His parents threw his ass out of Australia in grade 12. Okay. He had to come back to Flin Flon and fight for his own.
So he keeps his report card from 9th grade on him, or
he has that one only for whatever. I guess he's proud of it. And the funny thing is with this guy, he is tremendous at his job, like amazing. He's the best mailroom guy you could ever. He's obsessed with his job, but he's one of the biggest wild cards where I've had to warn him several times, like, dude, watch what you say and do, because not everybody's vibes like that. Like, he's just one of those, right?
He's like a wide receiver in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, hold on. Are you a football fan, Brad?
Big time.
Okay. I got to bring this up. And LG, I've said this to you before, I think, but I've said this in the Discord at least. Is this the worst the NFL has ever been right now? Like, we're talking in terms of the teams in the league, how in the past you'd have the elite teams, but the middle teams were competitive and they always had a shot of beating the top teams. And I say this after the Jets just beat the Eagles, but that's a whole other story. Okay. Is this the worst the NFL has ever been right here, right now, in terms of top to bottom, in terms of bad teams? How many bad teams are? I have never in my life seen this many awful teams. Like, it seems like everybody's awful except about 5 teams. What's your take on that? I'm super interested to have this conversation. LG, I want to hear what you have to say about that too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at what happened with the Broncos, I mean, that just in and of itself is probably like a representation of that.
They're horrendous too. Yeah, they're horrendous too, man.
But what was it, 70? What did they lose to?
Oh, yeah, LG knows about that one. He wasn't even watching that game, and LG messages me right away. He goes, dude, what? He's like, what the hell is that?
Like a
how is that even
basketball
possible
game
in this day and age, right?
No, that's slop fest city, and I agree. I mean, I'm not as dialed in probably as you are in general because I really focus on New York teams, but I can tell you both New York teams suck. Or Buffalo's. I should say, Buffalo seems to be. Josh Allen is always going to be great, and I always think that they have a shot of always making a run. But as far as the Giants and Jets are concerned, like, Giants are done and Jets are like working off of something different. They got a different weird. You can't figure them out because they're dealing with circumstances that are like unfolding in real time. But.
Right. I just LG, and you can chime in too. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I just feel that back in the day, like, you had teams like, say, the Atlanta Falcons that were never that good, although they went to the Super Bowl and lost to hold on. No, did they win that Super Bowl?
They lost.
No, they were up by like.
I'm confused right now. Yeah, sorry. That's the one they lost. Yeah. But I always felt that teams like that were shitty teams, but they always had like a star quarterback that kept them relevant. And I feel like this new crop of QBs in the league right now are all terrible, except a few. And I feel like some of the aging guys, like Russell Wilson, there's no explanation for this guy. Heading for a Hall of Fame career and gets completely derailed to being one of the worst QBs in the league, who doesn't look like he has a clue what he's doing night in, night out. They've tried many coaches with this guy now. And I feel like the guys drafted from college, a lot of them are either not well prepared or they're just, I don't know what the problem is. It used to be that if you were a first rounder, the odds were good that you'd be successful in the NFL. Somewhat. Okay, not all of them. I mean, there's been some terrible draft picks over the years. I just feel there's so many bad teams, man. Like the 1:00 games this past weekend, I looked at the slate. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to watch a single one of these games. What is this garbage? It's true though. I feel like there's just so many bad teams. And you in New York, man, I don't even know how you guys continue on like that, because I hit the panic button as soon as anything happens here in Toronto. And we're not even as hardcore as you guys, but you guys, like, the state of the football teams is probably the worst it's ever been, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Do you think, could this be like, is this a long-term effect of people putting their kids into football? And I don't think football numbers of like enrollments at the youth level are down. But if you have like a very bright kid, like some kids when they're 10, you're like, this kid is a freaking athlete and a half, and they're gonna crush literally any sport that they do. Some kids you just know, right? Like even like a LeBron, like you watch LeBron's high school wide receiver videos, like it's freaking nuts. Like he's amazing, and he's always talked about how maybe he could play in the NFL. If you have a really big, strong, smart kid, maybe there's fewer of them being put into football than other sports.
Well, I mean, I'm a good example. I had my kid in football when we lived in Columbus, and we came back to Canada, and football was okay here. It wasn't the same culture.
No.
But when I noticed that so many 8-year-olds had concussions on his team, I was like, you know what? Do you want to do something else or what, man? You know, like I don't find that attractive at all. As much as I love football. Right.
Something it's like maybe that's what you're finally seeing, because it's not that there's fewer athletes. It's not like they don't have enough players to play.
No.
But I think what you're describing is like, for some reason, especially at the top level, like, you know, the position where you have to be smartest in football, which is a quarterback, where you have to be,
that's
like,
where it starts.
you have to have a broad array of intelligence and physical gifts. That there's a smaller crop of good quarterbacks, right? Versus like even when Russell Wilson came into the league that year, you had him, Andrew Luck, Colin Kaepernick, and
that's what I'm saying.
Was that RG3? Yeah, that was the RG3 year. All four of them came into the league at the same, like in 2009, whatever year that was, and all four of them were incredibly good, right?
Yeah, but that was the expectation, right? And now we're
that's what I'm saying is that like now, like, who's a good young quarterback? Like Brock Purdy, who also had a bad game, right? It's like who are your
I think it has nothing to do with enrollment or anything. But I think you're hitting the nail on the head with the quarterback thing, man. If you don't have a good quarterback in the NFL, doesn't matter what you have around you. The Jets are the prime example. Yeah, they won yesterday, but if you don't have a good quarterback, doesn't matter if your defense is the best defense we've seen in 25 years. It makes no difference, because you're not holding the other team to 0 points while scoring 0. That's never happened in the NFL. I don't think there's ever been a 0-0 tie. The closest to that, LG, ever is, and I know Dad is listening, is that I actually bought Dad Bills tickets for his birthday once to go watch Cleveland Browns against the Buffalo Bills on a Thursday night. Yeah. And it was like minus 40 outside. Big mistake. The stadium was not full because the Bills were garbage. This is like 10 years ago. And to add insult to injury, the Buffalo Bills lost 6-3. Like, I can't even make this up.
It's pathetic.
Like, really pathetic. And we froze our damn asses off. But it just goes to show you the Bills didn't have a quarterback back then, right? The minute they got a quarterback, they became relevant. And it looks like a lot of these QBs in the NFL right now, even though they come in highly drafted, they're just not either ready, because maybe the college game is so different now. Maybe they're less motivated now that college athletes get paid. Who knows, right? Like, you don't know what the real reasoning is behind any of this. So,
well, let me throw a theory out to you. Now, if you take the score of the Broncos game, and you also take in the fact that now wide receivers are getting paid more than running backs, and you also kind of touch on the fact of what you're talking about, a quarterback almost, instead of being the key player, is almost borderline utility player, right? So maybe there's an issue with the system. I got a theory that the reason why the wide receivers are getting paid more money is, and it's not like an amazing idea, but fantasy football, I feel, has driven retail sales of wide receivers' jerseys higher than running backs, and as a result, they play this faster pace and they run the scoreboard up. And those systems, I don't think that you have a system in place that's going to be natural for a quarterback to throw the ball that many times during a game, let alone make those completions. So maybe there's a piece of this in there that you're touching on where it's like maybe the quarterback position is going through a transformation.
I think so. No, for sure. This is we were lucky to have the quarterbacks, even though we would trash them because they were on kind of mid teams. We were lucky to have the quarterbacks that we did the last 10, 15 years that have now all moved on. And you're just like, all right, well, you're waiting for the new crop to kind of take over, but it might take years for that to happen.
I think you're right, Phil. Like there's no Drew Brees in the NFL right now.
Right.
It's like a guy that's like kind of always, like, the Saints were never really that good. Like they won the Super Bowl once, but otherwise they were kind of just meh. But he still threw 400 yards a game. Like clockwork almost sometimes.
300 almost every game.
He's going to throw 400 yards a game, and they're going to finish at 500 or something like that, right? Like it's just like that's just what it was. But it didn't matter.
It's just so weird to me because I'm like, I hate every Sunday turning on. I'm like, what are these teams? Like, who are all these terrible teams? Why are there so many terrible teams? There's more than I've ever seen. You cannot name me more than 5 good teams.
Is coaching worse?
Not even joking.
Worse now.
I do feel that too many guys are like lifetime coordinators, but they end up being head coaches for whatever reason. I mean, it's a natural progression, so it makes sense. But no, for me, it still goes back to the quarterback. A lot of QBs have made coaches and not the other way around. I know a lot of people like to say that. Bill Belichick is a perfect example right now where it's like, okay, you had a storied career. Tom Brady left. You had time to rebuild it, and it's not working right now. Yeah, your quarterback sucks, but let's be honest. These special QBs make the coaches most of the time. They just do, right? I don't know. There needs to be a good partnership.
Maybe it's just that like sports change and it takes generations for them to change. So now NFL uses more analytics like everybody else. And as a result, you still have a lot of head coaches that are older who are using outdated systems. And then you have guys like Mike McDaniel that it's like his coaching style and like younger coaching styles will affect the league, but it'll take 10 years for people to start actually doing that and making I don't know if you consider Miami a good team, but it's an exciting team. You know what I mean? Like that's still fun football to watch every week, right?
I take hate for that. I don't like Miami, but that's because they're in the same division as me.
Well, they're still scoring a lot of points. That's what I'm saying. Is like they're still doing well. So
I call him a gimmick coach, LG, because I feel like this little gimmick act he's got going on there.
I'm not saying he's a model coach. I'm just saying that it's like you clearly have an appetite for a new wave of coaching style.
Yes.
And it might take like a generation for that to turn over and for there to be better head coaches who are making better teams.
Yeah.
Clearly whoever modeled their coaching after Bill Belichick, like that doesn't work anymore.
All his assistants, his former assistants and coordinators are all beating him now. He had a record of like 38-0 against all his former assistants and coordinators. Kind of like what's his name at Alabama there? Nick Saban. Same thing, right? He still holds that record. I mean, he beats the shit out of almost all his former assistants because he's obsessed with it. But Belichick it's fading a bit, right? It's fading, and he's got a QB that just doesn't seem to be NFL caliber. And that was my original point. I feel that a ton of these QBs that are coming out, like look at Brock Purdy with San Fran. This guy gets picked last in the draft. He was good in college, but they didn't see anything in him. And for some reason, his game translates to the NFL more than any of the other guys that were picked in the first round, right? It's weird. That's how the quarterback. Tom Brady was what round was he picked in? Like
fourth, right?
Yeah, third, right? Yeah, exactly.
God, where's Brad for NFL trivia, man?
Yeah, seriously.
He's right. He was immediately. He was like,
he's in the wrong trivia group. Yeah. He would have killed it because everyone was clueless at him.
But you're right. Vince Young was drafted first, and what was Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinart, man. Like, seriously.
I mean, I think to some extent, you always have a boom or bust in the first round, probably in the NFL, maybe the NBA more than other sports. Right. But yeah, I happen to agree with what you're putting down.
Okay, hold on. Phil, we only have 35 minutes left because you have to leave. Phil's going to the Maple Leafs game tonight. He's going to see first overall pick Connor Bedard play in his Toronto debut. He plays for Chicago. So a few things we got to do. We do have to talk NFTs. Brad, we're going to send you back to the backstage. But first, you get to ask each of us anything. You get a quick AMA, one question each. Anything you want to ask. Nothing is off limits. But it can't, Phil, your answer can't be half an hour long, okay? It has to be quick.
All right.
This is what I have to deal with, Brad. You see what I have to deal with?
Phil, you're the one who has to go, man. You're the one who's like, I got to go to the Leafs game.
Yeah, I do.
A lot of restrictions here. Okay, I'm going to kick it back to you, Phil. What's on your bucket list? So I'll start with you.
Oh, Everest.
You mean like number one on my bucket
number one.
list?
Yeah,
he's going to drive his car up Everest and have road rage along the way with all the Sherpas.
Oh, man. Actually, Everest would be on there, but I kind of abandoned that recently just for the fact that everyone's dying on Everest. But me, it's mostly sports stuff. Like, I would love to go, I've said it forever, to the Tour de France. I'd love to go to the Tour de France stage one time, just to be in the mountains. Have you ever seen those mountain stages where, like, the spectators are on the side of the road, like, shirtless, writing, like, "Hi, Mom" on their chest, and they almost get hit by the actual bikes going up? I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want that to be me, and I need to make that happen real soon.
All right.
I just feel, and this is the end of my answer, I think traveling the entire world, more than I have at some point, would be up there. Like when we were young, we went to places like Cuba and Mexico like 500 times. And I'm looking back, I'm like, why? Hold on. Why did we waste that many trips?
No, we went to Europe. You just talked about Hollywood.
No,
London,
I'm talking about after that. Man. Like I've gone to Cuba 9 times, man. All right. That's looking back, those 7 of those times could have been used to go somewhere else in the world. There's too many places to see and not enough time to do it. So I think doing a massive world trip is on my bucket list. At the top of there being a stop in France somewhere to watch the Tour de France and be one of those crazy people that runs after the bikes up the mountains and like dies after. So I'll be happy if that's how it ends.
And you got the French connection there, so you're right.
That's right. Oh yeah, I can rumble with those Frenchies up in the mountains for sure. Bouge tes fesses. Yeah.
All right. And LG, if you were able to have lunch with anybody, living or dead,
Wow.
who would it be?
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Living or dead?
Anybody. Jesus.
Bigfoot.
Is it, if it's Jesus, is it like a buffet? Because there's like every time he reaches into the basket,
it's just bread and wine.
There's more bread, and it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet with Jesus, because he's like, I got more. I got more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're going,
eat my body now,
as much as you want.
Like, it's if you go to church, it's a Jesus buffet every Sunday. That's true. Okay.
LG's got 10 seconds before his answer is longer than mine, so that goes out the window.
I don't know. I don't know who my hero is or anything like that. If I got lunch with anybody, maybe, I mean, it's kind of a cop out. Maybe like someone who's like comical, but also very important, like a Winston Churchill or something like that. But when he's like young and kind of insane, he was kind of nuts. But he's like, people like fucking hated Churchill before, and then they were like, oh, you know what? Like Hitler's kind of awful. Like Chamberlain messed up, so we need somebody who's like a tough guy. And they're like, Churchill, we kind of hate you, but like get in there and be the prime minister, and it worked. But I don't know. He seems like a really cool guy, and I don't want to have lunch with him when he's like my age, late 30s. Like I want to see what he's like. He's not this famous prime minister yet. I want to see what he's doing, what kind of weirdo he is at that age, and just sit down for whatever, like what kind of weird British tea you'd have in like 1905 or something like that. Tea and crumpets or some shit. Yeah, I'll use that. It's a bit of a cop out, kind of only thing I think of, but I'll think that's more. But that's
the raw Churchills. Yeah. He wanted before he became the seasoned, polished version.
That's it. Yeah, and I don't know what kind of crazy ass drugs they were doing back then, but he and I would do tons of it during the lunch. That's all.
All I know about him is we have streets named after him here. That's about all I know. And I saw him on that show on Netflix too, the Queen. Is that what it's called? I don't freaking know.
Yeah, man. That's so.
Brad, I got one more for you, Brad. I got one more for Brad, and then we can send him backstage. LG, was that recent video of Bigfoot real or fake?
Every video of Bigfoot is real. So even though I haven't seen the one you're talking about,
are you serious? Come on, man. There's no way you didn't see that.
Is it the one like the drone view or like the person?
No. People on a train somewhere in the mountains of was it Montana or something? I don't know where it was. Apparently he was walking right there in the mountain.
Okay, Phil, I'm going to tell you right now that this video here, I'm going to share it. This has a Twitter disclaimer on it from like the Twitter fact checking that says this is located in Silverton in Durango. It's part of a quite popular Bigfoot themed expedition trailer company called Sasquatch serious? Expedition Trailers. The owner regularly dresses up as Sasquatch.
You ruined it for me, man. You totally just ruined it.
Here's the video.
Got Brad's opinion.
Here it is. I just squatted down. Let me see your camera.
Did you see it, Brad?
How is this, man? I can't even see it, man.
Kind of.
That's the worst.
I see it.
Yeah. LG just ruined it by telling us that that's an expedition part.
I didn't even know that. There he is.
Come on, man.
So,
there's a better view where they zoom in on his face.
The squatted down makes me think that this guy's using the bathroom.
It's all the same video.
No. This guy zoomed in. There he is. See, that was legit until I read that.
It does look like he's taking a dump. You're right. It does look like it's.
Well, the search continues, I guess.
The search continues, man. No, that's definitely real. I'm gonna put my.
Come on, after reading that. Okay.
The green
Just
button on
the disclaimer.
That'll be on trivia.
Brad's saying the Twitter disclaimer is fake news. He's saying that
is
fake news, and that the video is real.
Yeah.
That you just ruined my week, LG. I had no idea that was fake.
Come on,
some BS.
I didn't know that was going to be there. You wanted to see the video. All right, Brad.
I'm going back.
Coming on, man. Hang out backstage.
There he goes. Morphing back into the underworld. Morphing. There it is. Beam his ass out of here.
Wow.
All right, Brad. We'll talk to you next time, man.
All right, he's gone. He's still backstage though. He can still see you. He can still hear you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was pretty wild. That was pretty good, right? That was from the season 1 media pass. Yes. That I guess Brad purchased.
I don't know how he got it. He's been lurking in the Discord for like months now, and I don't know how he just came in and he's got like a weird goalie mask, like PFP and
Right.
that he found us like on iTunes randomly like a year ago. He's not a listener from the way back. He's like a new. So I mean that's pretty cool. And
cool experience.
I also like the idea of bringing on a random listener for like 20 minutes or something like that on the show.
He got more than he bargained for with that. I mean, it was supposed to be a behind the scenes listening, and we had like a full out conversation with him to the point where I'm like, hold on a second, we should be having this conversation on the pod, man. Like, forget this. This is good stuff back here. So let's bring his ass on and let's hear what he's got to say. And he provided some good content today, that's for sure.
I think what I could do is I could start rounding up different listeners, but then I won't tell you who it is or what's happening.
I think so.
I could bring them in randomly during the show and like not even tell you when it's going to happen or when it's happening on today's show. They'll just appear and then just totally nuke whatever we're talking about.
I think that's a good idea. Great idea. But listen, I'm going to go back to what you said. You announced that I'm going to the Toronto Maple Leafs game tonight. I'm going to make a really quick point here. If you haven't checked this kid out before, go to Google right now or YouTube and write the name Connor Bedard. Okay. The number 1 pick overall in the NHL draft this past, I guess, June. So only a few months ago. It is actually very rare for players to get drafted to the NHL and go straight from the draft right into the league. It's not like basketball. It's not like football where there's not really a minor league system that's used regularly like hockey. In hockey, they have the option of sending the kids back to school. So say if they go to University of Michigan, they can send them back there.
Because for the NHL too, you have to point out that it's like not unlike the NBA, which the NBA mandated that you have to do a year of professional or college before you can join the NBA. So they're always at least 19 and at least a year out of high school. The NHL is not like that. You can go directly from high school to the NHL, which is what Connor Bedard has done. So he is literally 18 years old.
I mean, it's not impossible, but it's very rare because there's a lot of options, including going back to school, going back to your junior hockey team, or going to the NHL team's affiliate in the minors, which is the American Hockey League. Every team's got a team, or even the East Coast Hockey League, which is an affiliate of the American Hockey League, and each team's got an affiliate there in that league. But no, Connor Bedard was inserted right into the lineup. I still say that the draft lottery was rigged because Chicago did not have the greatest of chances of winning that.
No.
But there's no way they were sending a generational player, a player that could end up being one of the best, say, 5 players in NHL history if his career goes.
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy, if he makes it, if a lot of things have to align for that to happen. There is no way they were sending this kid to like San Jose or Anaheim. There just wasn't any chance.
No.
So that lottery was 100% rigged. I actually called it before it happened. I go, there's no way.
Well, they also had during that, I don't know if you remember during the lottery night, they had that mess up where Kevin Weeks announced Columbus was the 3rd pick. Where they actually they're like, okay, let's do the next lottery draw. And he's like, congrats, Columbus. And then they went to commercial break, and then he's like, oh, sorry, I announced Columbus by mistake. We haven't done the draw yet. Then he's like, and the 3rd pick goes to Columbus.
And nobody says anything. Nobody cares. Like, honestly,
you obviously
all knew it was coming.
The script, like, this is so rigged.
Yeah, it's really bad. But you know what? Nobody even cares, to be honest. If it was maybe the NBA, there'd be outrage.
They needed to reboot Chicago. The original 6 franchise.
Yeah.
There are 2 main guys from the last 20 years, Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane.
Gone.
But you both moved. Did Toews retire? Toews retired.
Taking a break, which means retiring.
He's
take a break or gone.
I think. And Kane went wherever, Rangers or something like that. So they needed a bit of a reboot, and now they got one.
For those who don't know, Bedard actually was one of only a certain amount of players who got an exception as a 15-year-old to play major junior hockey in Canada. And he didn't just play major junior hockey. Last year, he had something like 140 points or some shit like that.
It's an obscene amount of points.
80 goals, maybe, whatever it was. Anywhere he's played, he has dominated. Let's put it that way. And this is a kid with a bit of a different attitude. He's a bit smaller. He's got maybe one of the hardest shots in the NHL
He's an incredible
according to other players as an 18-year-old. Yeah. He's not even big. And he's just got this weird quirkiness about him. I don't know if you see all these media things, LG. He's always saying stupid shit in the media conferences. Like, he won't stop. Like, he just can't stop trolling. And he never smiles.
If the personality benchmark is set at Connor McDavid, it's not hard to go above that.
That's right.
Because Connor McDavid has to be like the most. And just for anybody who doesn't watch NHL, again, you're probably not that interested in this. Connor McDavid is already definitely going to be like one of the top 10 players all time, unless something.
He already is. Like,
he already is. He's already incredible amongst active players in the NHL. Of all the guys who are playing right now, like it's still Crosby and Ovechkin and everybody, he has by far the highest point per game average. He averages 1.5 points per game. And the next active guy after him is Sidney Crosby with like 1.2. Like it's not even close. But his person, like he has the personality, like he doesn't have personality at all. Like it's literally like it's like it's the Grand Canyon of personality for Connor McDavid. Like he is like they shouldn't even interview him or ask him questions because it makes it
always the same crap. Yeah,
it's like you're counter selling the NHL when you talk to McDavid in an interview. It's like they should you know what they should do, Phil? They should record him in a studio for 5 hours and then make an AI of him that then does the interviews. That would actually, and that's actually kind of exciting. Like that would be way better than what they have now. Than
he gets pissed sometimes too, and the media knows not to mess with him. But yeah, I'm going to the game tonight. It'll be Connor Bedard's first NHL game in Toronto. Always a huge market. And I just want to point something out. This will be his fourth NHL game.
Yeah.
He's played a game. He opened in, I think it was Pittsburgh that he opened in. Then he went to Boston, where he scored his first NHL goal. And then he went to Montreal on the weekend. And in Montreal, out of the 3 places he's played this year, Montreal was the only place that relentlessly booed this guy. I don't know what the problem is over there. Like Montreal fans have always been scumbags. They really have. They are. They're the worst fan base in all of sports. Okay. They've always been scumbags. And that just took it to a new level. I get booing the opponent, but why are you booing this kid? Did you not see what happened when he scored his first goal in Boston? Like the crowd erupted. The fans all stood up. They recognize that this is not about your team anymore. This is a guy that when you go watch him play, for the first time ever, maybe in Toronto, people are going to come tonight to see a player from the opposing team as much as they're there to see their beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. That never happens here, no matter who you are. This is one where all eyes are going to be on this kid. And like LG, you mentioned in the pre-show, all right, he's got a goal. He's got an assist. I think he's averaging a point a game already after 3 games.
Yes.
Like LG said, all right, the Leafs 2-0 this year. All right, the big bad goons all of a sudden. Austin Matthews, 6 goals in 2 games.
They're pretty wild.
Only one person's ever done that in NHL history in the first 2 games of the year. Should destroy the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. But LG called it. Connor Bedard is probably going to come into Toronto because this always happens here. And he's going to have like 5 or 6 points tonight. Probably going to score a hat trick. Although, you know what? It almost seems impossible. But something like that's going to happen.
Talked about this though, Phil. Maybe not tonight, but sometime in the future. It's always the most elite play. There's two types of athletes who have their career games against Toronto. One is the all-time greats, Kobe, 81 points against Toronto. LeBronto. We already know all these stories. Ovechkin, I think the team that he has scored the most against ever in the league is the Maple Leafs in his 18 years in the NHL and his 705 goals or whatever he has.
Or a guy comes into Toronto, hasn't scored in 2 years in the league, and he's definitely scoring when he comes.
Yes,
like
and that's it. So there's one type of athlete is the superstar who has their marquee game. That's when you go on Top Shot, like half the plays are against the Raptors. And then the other type of athlete,
Kobe, 81 points
against Toronto teams, is the most no-name bum you've never heard of, who scores like 6 goals and then they never get to 6 goals in the rest of their career, and it's always against Toronto.
It's true, though. It's always been like that.
We always get lit up by the most random guy. Linsanity, the peak of Linsanity was the Raptors game where he hit like a buzzer logo shot to win it. Like that was, and Phil, the people in Toronto were cheering for him by the end of that game. Like they were cheering.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, there is a very large Chinese community here, so I'm not surprised by that. I mean, that was they were cheering for him originally every time he came to Toronto. Just like they cheer for the Greek freak when he comes here because we have so many Greeks in this town.
That's true. Yeah, Toronto does have a pretty diverse.
But just to flip things a little bit, I forgot to ask you this. We haven't talked about this in a long time. Are you collecting NHL Breakaway?
Yeah, so I do want to talk NFTs because
we're on the NHL.
Yeah, well, we're on NHL. So I didn't. This is kind of interesting. I did buy a lot of the packs early on, and I still hold them. I was thinking about buying the elite packs that came out last week, which are actually
$65.
$65 US, and the Canadian dollars.
Sorry, Canadians are about $100. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting kind of screwed right now. So it's kind of good luck going to the US again if you're going there, because
don't talk to me about that. That was bad.
But I thought those packs were good. They took a while to sell out, but they did sell out. They sold 2,000 of them. What's interesting is that those packs, the elite packs that they released as the big start of the season, didn't really have anything to do this season. Right. If anything, they are actually rookie plays of current stars, which is actually what Top Shot did also last week, was release rookie moments of current stars. So Top Shot released, Jaylen Brown first game or some shit like that. I didn't really pay that much attention, but they released something like that. And those have done really well. So, and I know people weren't fans of that it's kind of cheap to roll out a rookie moment or rookie play of a guy who already exists. You know what I mean? That it's not during their rookie season, so it doesn't really count. But I do NHL did that to start the season. They sold out the packs. There's no marketplace, so that's probably where I'm most weary, is that I don't necessarily only buy NFTs to flip them, but I do like the option of getting some money back if I'm unhappy with them. You know what I mean? Or if I don't get what I want. I like being able to do that. But what I did do, Phil, I think in the last couple weeks since we spoke, is I actually traded a few NHL Breakaway Elite. I
love that you can do that. That option.
Yeah, so they don't have a marketplace yet, but they do have a gifting option that they implemented. And I found that going into that Discord and trading with people was one of the most chill and really easy experiences I've had trading NFTs. People were super helpful. I posted, very simple in the trading channel, like, here's what I'm looking for, here's what I have. Got a couple DMs, all people trying to make nice offers, and found a couple trade partners and did a trade within minutes, and no funny business. I told them you send it to me first, because if I screw you, then you can expose me, because
that's the way I usually approach it too. I feel that that's the best way. And it's weird, it's not gifting like Top Shot. It's actually a link that you send to someone.
It's like
they have to click the link to claim it. So if you were to drop that link, it's actually better for giveaways, LG. Like, you could drop a link.
It's exactly like NFL All Day
into the chat, right? Oh, is it? Is that how it works with All Day? I don't know.
All Day, that's what we do. Well, All Day, you can't drop a moment, but you can drop a pack that you make.
Right.
So when we do our live shows and I drop packs,
that's
what I do is I go on the marketplace, I buy 3 moments, and then I put them, because it has to be minimum 3. I put them in a pack.
I didn't even know you could do. I didn't know that's what you did.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So so that also helps if you. I think the idea is that you would onboard people that way, so that if you have a friend who is like, oh, tell me more about this NFT thing, you can send them a pack of NFL All Day that's like, hey, you got Russell Wilson and whoever, or whatever, good players you want to stack it with. And you can make a pack that has legendary players in it if you want. You can do whatever you want. So NHL, you can't make a pack, but you can send the highlight, which I think is good. The NHL season has started, right?
Yeah.
They didn't roll out anything too massive, which at first I was kind of disappointed, but I think also makes sense, because the whole time Matt and the team there told us that, like, they're taking it easy. You know what I mean? Like, they're building something cool, but they're not overdoing it. So I think it's like, first day NHL season, here's rookie highlights of today's greatest stars. That's it. That's fine with me. And they have a $15 standard, like, standing starter pack that you can buy anytime you want on
with five, I guess we're going to call them
5 players
in there, or whatever the hell you want to call 5 players.
Highlights.
Better than
fine.
3, right? Better than 3, which is what others have done in the past. I will say this, though. I don't know if you've noticed, but people are actually selling them baller style, because ballers also didn't have a marketplace. Until after people had a major thirst and hunger to buy and sell them. So you had all these third-party traders making extra money on the side, and I'm not going to name names. You know exactly what I'm talking about there. That was, a menace in the society with all these trades and stuff. But you have a lot of people selling them. And I'm going to ask
that guy's name? What was that? Frankie. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, he was like a master facilitator. He still messages me sometimes. I don't know what he's up to. But I mean, we connected in the past before we even were into NFTs. And that whole thing was pretty wild. So I never got involved because I didn't really know what was really going on. And, I know better than to, draw to conclusions right away. So I let that thing play itself out. It didn't look good, obviously, but, we kind of had an idea what was going on. But who knows, right? There's always other stuff.
All I'm saying with NHL is that they're not overdoing it. Right. And as a result, it's very simple right now. You can buy the starter pack, has some base highlights in it, small chance of something good. Probably every couple of weeks, they'll drop a new pack of something interesting. Obviously, the biggest thing that's going to come is going to be Connor Bedard's first moment or highlight or whatever. Like, that's going to be highly sought after. I think they had said that they're going to try and release the marketplace before the end of the year, so you can look at that. And then
I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
Challenges for sets. where you complete this and you freeze them.
Freeze.
They're not frozen for 12 months like Top Shot, like a random number like that. They're frozen until I think like the end of the second round of the playoffs or something like that. It's until like the end of May. And you have until the end of the season to freeze them. So I think that that's kind of cool, you know, and then you get the extra highlight at the end. And I think it's very simple. You know what I mean? They're not overdoing it. They're not trying to pull in all this revenue. It's very basic. And I think that that's good because then the most important part is you have new people come in. Right. And I think the way NHL Breakaway is set up right now, it'll take people 5 minutes to understand what's going on. You know what I mean?
Packs are still available too. I love
spend
that.
$15, buy a pack, and then
they put a limit on the packs.
Go into Discord, trade for the ones you want. That's it. You know what I mean? Basic. It doesn't have to be this big fancy thing to start, right? So,
well, it's a real throwback to the school days when you used to do that. Anyways, bring all your cards with that checklist. All right, I'm missing this. You have one of those. Give me one of those. I'll give you one of these. Right. I'll ask you this. Connor McDavid is the holy grail moment on that platform right now. 1 of 100 Connor. I don't know what's the level that they call that level when there's 100 of them. It's not core. It's not elite. It's
Epic?
not rare.
Epic
maybe. No, it's not Epic. Sorry, elite. What the hell am I talking about? Elite. No, it's not Epic. Epic is something else. Epic is 250. I forgot what the heck the hundreds were. Anyways,
legendary. I don't know.
What would you, if I told you to guess right now, what would you think the Connor McDavids are selling for right now on the black market in terms of
$500?
I will tell you, no, not 2,000. I'll tell you right now that it's above $1,000 what they've been going for. There's a few people out there collecting every single one of them, and they're just willing to make the deal just like that. Like, here you go, see you later, give it to me, recognizing that maybe that will be, I don't know. To me, that's a big risk. I don't know if I'd be doing that, just because you don't know where this is going. This thing could be dead in a year. Who the hell knows?
But I think that's good. And I think, again, I think we've said this for every project, that I think you need to kind of set up the structure, but you need the community to you need to let them do their own thing for a while. You know what I mean? I think this is good.
Which is fine. That's what people are doing.
Here's a couple of challenges. We're going to do some drops here and there. Otherwise, you guys can gift things to each other. Marketplace will come later. Have fun.
And if you're bored, there's still packs available, right?
Yeah. And the thing that I've noticed in there, and I think maybe this is probably good because there's no marketplace, is that every person I've talked to in there is like a true collector. Like, some of them have been like, wow, LG, I'm so glad to hear. I always knew, obviously you're Canadian, you're such an NHL fan. Like, they are legit NHL fans. So they're starting with real fans, not just flippers. And that's really good. I think that's really healthy. I'm still holding 2 unopened packs of the inaugural founding fan base packs. Always hold the first packs.
Those have good shit in them, man. And if I guess if you're listening and you're a hockey fan and you haven't tried, give it a shot. I'm serious. We're not even paid by these guys. It's not promo, but I'm just saying that if you're looking for kind of a different experience in a lower profile sport like hockey, which is not the same expectations as NBA and NFL, where people go postal the minute there's nothing happening. The NHL is a good start. And I'm telling you right now, the packs that are available, because they've made a limit of 4 and they upped it to 6 now, there's still packs available. They're only $15. And they have not been swept up. Like, if you had made an unlimited amount of packs, they would have been all bought already by the same people, which is not what you want. You want those things to sit there. There are still like 10 Connor McDavids in those packs sitting there somewhere, and someone's going to get it. So if you love the lotto, you love hockey a little bit, I'd go for a pack, man. You don't know what you're going to get in there. And the community is actually really good. And I had the same experience as you, LG. I mean, the people I talked to in that community, very fair in what they offered to trade and all that stuff. And it was a smooth experience without using a marketplace, which I think is coming really soon anyways. I do. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. And
I'm having fun, man. Nothing's really happening.
You can also gift unopened packs.
Really? Oh, I didn't even know you could gift packs.
Yes.
That's really
so
cool.
I didn't realize it either. I would went and looked, but so you can gift unopened packs. So you can buy packs and keep them unopened and then gift them.
Nice.
I like
that. I do love that there are packs available with a golden nugget in it. It's kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. Because on Top Shot,
nugget too. So once you have Bedard moments in there,
oh my God, when that Bedard moment comes out, the rookie moment,
first goal, like, that's pretty massive.
First goal, but what I mean is that on Top Shot, when all the packs go in one shot, nobody else has a shot at like when we were kids and we used to go to the card store, every single pack of Upper Deck cards you bought, those were the expensive ones. They were like $4 a pack. You were hoping to get like that silver metallic Frank Thomas or that silver metallic like Barry Bonds. And you knew that somewhere in there, and you knew that you were kind of playing the lotto odds to get one, right? But when a pack drop sells out immediately, you know your odds are done. You're not even going to get a shot at it. But having packs available at all times, I'll tell you right now, there's still 10 Connor McDavid's in there worth $1,000 US in those packs that are $15. So
are they in there? Are they really? Is there?
I think there is. They're in the pack list. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So if you're someone who wants to throw it back to when you used to go to that convenience store like 7-Eleven and buy those packs of cards, there's still some golden tickets inside those packs, which is an experience that's fun for everyone. If you play Powerball and all that shit, you're playing a golden ticket opportunity anyways, right? I think it's cool. It's unique because there's been no other platform where packs are actually just sitting there this early on, right? They've let collectors buy all of them with the simple goal of making money. These guys, I think, is about how many are left, LG? About 1,400 out of those ones.
Out of the out of the 5,000, there's 1,458, and in there, that tier where they're minted to 100 is called Epic.
Epic, okay,
and it's from the mark, so it's only like superstars. And yeah, there was 22 in those 5,000 packs, 22 Connor McDavid's.
Yeah, and then they have not all been pulled. That's what I read. So
you might also pull one of the other epics in there is Phil Kessel.
Oh wow. Phil the Thrill, the Iron Man of the NHL.
Well, here's a question for you, Phil. And I know you got to go soon. Is if you from here, what would you do if you were NHL Breakaway? What would you do for the rest of the season?
I would do what Top Shot did. I do the opposite of what Top Shot did. The players, okay, if you're going to release highlights or moments from what's happening this year, a couple things. They need to be relevant. Okay, it cannot just be. Even they already have some that are irrelevant, if you ask me, in there. Okay, like some of these big name players, I'm like, what is this? Who cares? Is this like a big goal in their careers? No, it's not. I don't give a shit about this. You know what I mean? I would take the top moments of the season, or milestone moments and things like that, and make those special, obviously. But I would not have, if you're going to release, I think every player should have a moment this year, just like a set of hockey cards, and I think that should be it. There should not be more than one per player. I don't know how you're going to do that. Maybe you have a special set like they've done, a rookie set where that'd be another moment, whatever. First goal. I love the first goal idea because some of the rookie moments on Top Shot are like, what is this, right? Middle of February game in his rookie season. That's his rookie moment. That's weird. First goal is truly like your rookie moment. It's even better than a rookie card in a pack of cards because it's their first goal. I love it.
That's also where hockey is like a little bit unique, where it's like, well, per game there's 6 goals. You know what I mean, or whatever the average in the NHL. So there's only six people that can score a goal every game, right? And it's unique too because in the NBA, like somebody scores their first bucket, they don't they don't take the ball away and put it on the side and write on it. But the NHL, it's like you score your first goal, like literally one of your teammates or the referee goes and picks up the puck and gives it to a trainer on your bench, and they keep it and they save it for you, right? So I think that's kind of neat, and that kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's more almost collectivity in NHL things that happen in the NHL because it's so like the event is so singular in a way. Whereas like a basket, sure, there's game-winning, buzzer-beating baskets that are insane, all franchise altering, league altering, but it's still one basket out of like 200 every game. Right. So
right. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like whereas goals, it's like there's only a few. Right. So, but yeah, I agree with you on some of those. It's like, I think that, next, obviously interest will tail off a little bit because that's what naturally happens after a season starts. But if they are going to do marketplace, I would love to see like a huge lead up to the marketplace launch. Like, and I think the day they launch the marketplace, Phil, they got to do like 1 hour flash challenges where you burn, like they got to do like, it's got to be chaos for like 3 straight days just to generate like a lot of price action and excitement. And I think they got to be ready with milestone drops, right? You've got a couple guys this year who are going to hit 1,000 points, like Tavares and Kessel, Crosby and Ovechkin. Very likely Crosby by the end of the year
Ovechkin's got a lot of milestones coming up this year.
He's got a lot of milestones. Crosby by the end of the year will likely be in the top 10 all-time scoring of the league, which is pretty insane. Once he gets to like 1,600 points, he's at like 1,520 right now. And you've got, I don't know, you just have like a slew of stars all hitting milestones. Like who knows, McDavid might hit 1,000 points this year. He might have 170. You know what I mean? Like there's insane things that could happen. So I think it's like sticking to those, making a big marketplace thing and not over minting is like a way for them to continue to have a really successful first season.
No, for sure. And I still stick to what I said to the guys from the team when they were on with us. I still stick to I truly believe that the golden nugget concept is a great one. It doesn't have to be a moment, but you know what? If you're going to have more pack drops, throw in a pair of NHL tickets in there to where you get a silver ticket in, one every 1,000 packs has a silver ticket that is redeemable to an NHL game of your choice this season. Not of your choice, sorry, a city of your choice, wherever you live or whatever you're going to be.
Yeah.
And you, to redeem it, they give you an option. Hey, do you want this game, or that game? And they send you a pair of NHL tickets, something like that.
You know, one thing I found that no one has ever done, and I don't know, maybe there's a legal reason you can't do this, is have a store that you can only use certain NFTs to buy from. Like, for example, like what you're saying, it's like, okay, every 100th pack has a store ticket, like a silver ticket. Yeah. And that ticket can be redeemed for one thing from the store. You can go in there anytime and use it, and you can sell your NFT as well. And in the store, there are things like Connor McDavid's signed jersey.
Or even just a jersey. It doesn't have to be signed. Have you seen what
Sorare but I'm saying, but there's just
disappears in 2 seconds.
There's different types of merch or tickets.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Different things. That's what I'm saying. You can just go in, and they've actually on Sorare, there's been a bit of turmoil on Sorare lately because a lot of people have been leaving, or whales have been questioning, being like, what are we just keep winning new cards forever? Like, the rewards suck. They're mad. Exactly. There's not the rewards aren't high enough. And the physical rewards suck. And they've been battling the problem. And Top Shot has had this in the problem too, that it's like, hey, the winner of this contest wins 2 tickets to the Lakers game. And it's like, yeah, somebody who lives in freaking France, that's useless. Yeah, I know. And those tickets aren't NFTs. So they can't even take the money from it. They can't even take the $200. Right. So I think that's where, and Sorare has said with their season update that they're going to try and figure that out and make that more agnostic. And there must be some legal reason you can't do that. Because I would love each of these companies. It's like the season starts, there's a store with 200 physical items in there. There's tickets to Maple Leafs. There's Connor McDavid jerseys. There's a bag of pucks, whatever it is. And there's 200 silver tickets in these packs. Use them, list the tickets, redeem them. First person to redeem it gets the best prize, the Connor jersey or something like that, right? Like, just some other alternate thing that is like a fun thing to also get in your packs on top of the most valuable NFT or the best player or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
And that is one of the things that is the most likely for me to attract people from the outside, something like that. When you hear, hey, that person, what's these things they're buying online where the guy got a Connor McDavid signed jersey? Holy shit, where do I buy one of these packs? Let me check it out for a sec. I want to win one of those. You'd have a really good shot. They don't need to be hooked on the platform, but they will show up. And on top of buying a pack and maybe getting that silver ticket that you mentioned, they might enjoy what they get in there if they at the same time get a Connor McDavid moment. And they're like, all right, this is pretty dope. Absolutely. Let me try again. Oh, wait, my collection is now 10 moments deep. I didn't get the silver ticket, but that's pretty cool. Let me keep going. Right.
And doing that is nothing for these platforms.
I don't understand how we haven't evolved.
They're bringing in $800,000, $3 million, all this shit. Like, literally do that. Include the shipping. Having 100 items in a little store like that. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to spend $5,000 on it. Like, it costs a thing to do that.
We'll see who does it first. We'll see who does it first. I think
NHL has a reason they can't do that, but I think it's ridiculous, honestly.
I don't give a shit. Get your lawyers, get in that boardroom, and figure out a way to do it. Because we were told that loot bag packs were not possible, on any platform, and they still did it, man. Don't give me that
loot bag packs. It's normal now that there's a 2% chance of a legendary or whatever it is. Yeah,
exactly. Don't give me that crap. Pretty wild. I like it though. I'm having a good time. So,
Phil, do you have to leave?
I have to leave, man. I know you had other stuff to talk about, but we got derailed pretty easily earlier. The hockey game starts in an hour and a half. Yeah. And again, if this was any other city other than Toronto or New York, it'd be okay right now. And I'd probably be able to stay for another hour. Yeah. But it will be a miracle if I make it to the game on time. But I will say this, a week from tomorrow, there could be something pretty wacky happening that involves hockey and the NHL and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'll have an update on that next week.
Are you involved in whatever this is?
I am involved in whatever this is, and it's probably wilder than you could ever imagine what's about to happen. So, courtesy of one of our good friends in the community. But I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll save the update for. I'll probably have to do a live video of myself when it goes down. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Phil,
you could never guess, LG. I could give you 100 chances. You'll never guess.
Yeah, no, I know. I already know what it is. Is that they are going to be, one of their goalies is going to be sick, and they're going to need like a random Zamboni driver to be the backup goalie, and that somehow it's going to be you.
I'm not gonna lie, you are extremely close.
Oh no. You know what it is? Is you're gonna have to be the Zamboni backup goalie for the team they're playing, and then they'll lose, and you'll beat them in a shutout.
Can you imagine?
That's another Toronto Maple Leafs thing. Whenever a team has like a crap, their goalies are sick, and they have to pick some random dude from that town to be the backup goalie. That's the team the Leafs.
We're the only team to ever lose to the emergency goalie, and that's a fact.
Yes, the emergency goalie.
Yeah. And the guy was from here too. Like, how pathetic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll have one update on that. But you came very close in what you said. I don't even know if you remember what you said, but it's also not what you think. So, stay tuned. I think you guys will be pretty stunned. I'm stunned.
Last thing for you before we go, we put a poll up on First Mint. Here we go. What are you most excited for? Top Shot Series 5, Sorare NBA Season 2, or LaMelo-verse?
LaMelo-verse. Okay, so all the trolls voted for that, obviously. I didn't even see that poll, man. When was this? I didn't see this. I love
that. Was this morning. And Top Shot Series 5 is winning with 64%. Sorare NBA Season 2 is 25%. I think that maybe speaks a little bit more to who our followers are on Twitter than it does.
That's exactly it. So on that note, LG, those packs I saw, I got an email for tomorrow. Are they worth it? Those archive packs? Yes.
I'm going to talk about Top Shot after you leave.
Oh, you're staying on. Whoa. I like that.
I got things to say. They're in-app, and I hate the in-app packs.
Come on, dude. Are you joking? I can't use that.
You can only pay with more money and like that. What I was going to say is that I think one of the best ways for Top Shot to draw attention back in is to have packs be going for 3 or 4 times their original mint cost, and that's exactly what happened with the packs last week. They sold for $49, and some of them are going for $200 right now. And that's going to bring in rent seekers and not.
We're doing Royal Rumble tomorrow. Yeah,
I think if you're these sport platforms, you're taking any users you can right now. You take any users, even if it's slippers. Take anything you can.
All right,
that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right, I'm out of here. Off to see Connor Bedard against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I will have an update next week on my adventures that are, again, Toronto Maple Leafs based, but not in Toronto. They are somewhere else, and they're anything wilder than I could ever imagine doing in my life. So, all right. Bye, Phil. See you later. Adios.
Wow. Well, it's just me. I don't know, Brad, are you still there? Are you still in the background? If you want to come back on and chat, just shoot me a message. And we can keep chatting, but don't feel like you have to. I'm gonna go on for another like 5 or 10 minutes, just chat like very casually about some Top Shot and a little bit of Sorare. Oh, and there's some good things I wanted to show Phil too. I'll show him next week, but I wanted to show him a video that listener Steve sent in, which is of Phil's favorite player, NBA player, Jamal Murray, doing a bit of UFC wrestling with Alex Volkanovski. And I wanted to get Phil's take on that. And also I wanted to show Phil the absolute insane Royal Rumble at the Van Gogh Museum for people trying to get Pikachu art. Anyways, I'm not even going to talk about those right now. I'm not going to show them because Phil will. I got to wait for Phil to comment on them. So I'm just going to wait. We'll talk about that next week. Back to Top Shot. So Top Shot had they finally released the pack marketplace. We talked about this last week on the show, and I'm a big fan of that. It's obviously really, really overdue. They only had Series 1 at first, which was lackluster, I think, because a lot of Series 1 is held by whales. But now they finally have Series 4, some Series 4 packs. They're going to have Series 3 and all archive packs, I think, starting tomorrow on top of another drop. The thing that 4x'd in price were the Origins packs, which again were rookie moments of current players like Luka and Jaylen Brown. I kind of faded it. I'm not crazy about Top Shot selling that many packs during the off season. Jacob from Top Shot has famously said that there is no off season at Top Shot, but I think they've tried to release exciting stuff like these Origin packs that are the rookie moments and LeBron James anthology, the LeBronto, all this crap. I think that those are good to release. I just think it's kind of silly to release that before the season starts or in the middle of the summer mainly because the season starting is when that's when the most people care about a certain league, right? We know that from, who told us that was actually Janie, the former GM of Top Shot, very controversial GM. We know that for a fact. So I feel like even though this is when Top Shot should be hitting a stride and releasing tons of stuff and saying, hey, here's the Series 5 plans. Here's how we're going to get things back on track. We're going to burn a bunch of stuff, blah, blah, blah. I think their current users probably already have quite a bit of like pack fatigue from 2 months straight of very important moments being dropped. So I am very curious to see how like Top Shot is going to try and generate excitement, considering that they've already released so much. So they've already kind of cracked that nut, let's call it. But I do think it's good for them to be releasing packs that you can resell that honestly go for way more. And I don't know if that is going to bring in the right people, like I was saying, but it does make it exciting. It does make someone like me who sat out that pack drop, I didn't even care. It does make me want to show up to the next pack drop for the possibility of profit or to crack it and get it, because that part's always fun despite everything that's happened to Top Shot. Last thing I want to touch on, and I just to make my little time marker here, because you guys know that I do this. I usually do it when Phil's talking. Last thing I want to touch on is Sorare. So, and I know I feel like a lot of people who listen to the show don't really care about Sorare, but I tried to give like a pretty broad view of the sports. Sorare is starting to see a lot of the same issues that Top Shot saw. And basically, if you've ever played Sorare, you know that the reward for pretty much winning any competition is new cards. So it's kind of like this self-defeating process in terms of scarcity, where you win a competition and it's like, congrats, you get a rare card of a really good player, but that further dilutes the supply. Sorare, especially on the football side, like the soccer football side, is seeing quite a bit of revolt lately, I think, from some of their top whales. I read quite a few blog posts last week, and I put this in the newsletter about different whales kind of writing these long posts saying like, listen, this strategy doesn't work. The rewards are not very good. Sorare is kind of floundering. I'm questioning whether I want to keep playing. Like they're very unsure how it's going. And my take on that, and of course it's normal for these projects to see some kind of community user revolt and people to say like, here's why I'm quitting. That happens regularly. And Sorare, again, to their credit, has by far the most users out of any sports NFT project in terms of active users, active buyers. DraftKings has been catching up to them, but a bit more on that in a second. Despite all this, user revolt, the rewards and all that kind of stuff aren't worth it. You're just further diluting supply. The one thing that's missing that DraftKings does do really well is reward tons of money. And I know that's like so obvious, but the DraftKings rake, like I think in the first season of DraftKings Rainmakers, their NFT product for the NFL, DraftKings pulled in like $37 million of revenue and dished out $22 million of prizes. And so every week you can go to DraftKings, enter Rainmakers lineups, and the first prize every week you can literally win 200 grand if you want, if you're the number one. Like they have such an insane amount of money that they're throwing back. And again, that's what a daily fantasy sports company, that's what they do. They award tons of money from the money that they make. That's how it works. Sorare's rake, the same, how much they give back. DraftKings, whatever that, that fraction is, 60% or something like that they return to the community. I calculated it for Sorare last year for Major League Baseball and for NBA, or for baseball only, when they at the start of the season, MLB, when they announced how ETH rewards for baseball, right? Because for a long time, Sorare didn't only rewarded cards, like I said, but they started last year rewarding ETH, and they've always rewarded ETH on the football side. For baseball this past season, it was 3%. 3% of what they were projected to make, they were actually going to give back as prizes, and that's not nearly enough. So I think, yes, people are saying, oh, Sorare just kind of has the same old boring practices. The rewards aren't good, blah, blah, blah. They just got to infuse it with money. They're making hand over fist with money. They auction all their cards. People are still buying an obscene amount of stuff on Sorare, and they're keeping it. So I think that is something they need to do. I also think they need to make it a lot easier to buy on Sorare. I find the auction model is elegant, but also exhausting, honestly, to like wait around and try win auctions of your favorite players, or to go to the marketplace, but then that really depends on listing, and it's not that simple because it's not really a collectible. So anyways, I just think there's a few things that need to get easier on Sorare. Like you need to be able to buy packs of some kind, and they got to give more money. They got to be more generous. So I don't know if anybody here plays Sorare. They're going to launch their season 2 of NBA very soon, any day now. They're going to announce it, and they're actually doing an opening day stream with Mike Zakarian from Team Hold. So he's going to be at their office in New York. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm going to be checking that out. And yeah. So anyways, I think that's it for today. I don't know where Phil is, but he's probably, on his, 2-hour commute down to downtown Toronto from the burbs where he lives. And I guess we'll be back next week for another episode of the First Minute. So you guys all take care, and we will see you next week.